Americans, they lived in the wilderness their whole lives and were able to survive. And if most people were stuck in the wild, they would have no idea what to do. And so ancestral knowledge is just keeping our ancestors' knowledge alive.
I didn't really feel anything about the outdoors. I used to spend most of my time indoors, maybe in my backyard at the most. I didn't really go outdoors.
But I didn't know, like, when you see something green, it's still living. I didn't know that.
They think that everything is going to be right there in some room in a building. If they're out in nature, they know that there's more out there, and they start seeing that there's more than just what the television's saying.
It's important to get back to what we've been, because we still are living, and we still are animals, and no matter how much we try not to be part of nature, we still are, and we might as well learn something about it.
Forever now, people have been close to the earth, and now we're so far away from it. This is a crucial time, a critical time to get kids back to nature.
Helping them connect with nature just by taking them out and letting them experience it on their own terms. Really great to see kids get excited when they find an animal track and they want to know everything about it. They see a bird or hear a bird that they've never heard before, but now that they're surrounded by the wilderness, awareness is peaked. They start taking note of what's around them instead of just cars and airplanes and sirens and things. So we're basically sharing a connection and helping them reconnect to the earth and their natural environment with hopes of them forming a respect for it to help preserve it in the future. The different types of kids that we work with range from the haves to the have-nots, from diplomats' children, kids who have family members that are drug dealers or gang members, kids who are Montessori or homeschooled, public school kids, and kids who just don't go to school at all. When we first worked with them, they were bouncing off the walls in the classroom. I mean, literally, kids, we walked into the room and they were doing back handsprings and flips and cartwheels across the room, just going nuts. And by the third or fourth time, they would come in and just sit down in a circle quietly. And try.
The experience for my children and for all the children that I'm seeing is just an incredible chance to be independent and to learn skills that are not available at home.
When I go home, I can always count on having a nice warm bed and food in my pantry because we can go to the supermarket. And the textbooks never really tell you how any of them survived. In Maps Meet, you learn about how they did things, how they actually survived.
There's some real old-timers here who have had so much experience, and just being able to shake their hand passes on so much knowledge. It's just pretty amazing.
No matter what culture they're from, their ancestors, their great-great-great-great-grandparents have all done these types of skills or these ways of life.
It's so cool how the plants, the dirt, the sticks, the bugs, when you're in the woods, if you know about it enough, it can just give you anything you need.
Your basic four is shelter, water, fire, food, in order of importance. Everyone needs shelter to survive from day 1 to day 2. And so every human being on Earth has discovered their form of shelter. And it's usually built, and then you'll have certain principles which are most important, staying dry and then staying warm.
The brush shelters and stuff are pretty neat. And they're really useful. You can survive for quite a long time not knowing anything else except how to build one of those.
It was hot. If I wanted to, I could take the leaves out and make it cold in like an air conditioning.
Water is next. You know, 85% of our bodies is water. So you have to be able to find a clean source or identify the cleanest source near you and then how to purify it. Fire, almost equally important as water in modern times because we have to boil water to make sure that it doesn't have harmful bacteria. The warmth and the light and really the spirit of fire is so important to the human psyche. All you've got to do is light a fire and everybody's ready to gather around, talk, dance, you know, laugh and celebrate, and that's what keeps us healthy in many ways.
I'd build a fire using a bow drill.
Then you take the bow, which is, it looks like a bow, and you wrap it around the spindle, which is the stick of wood, and you go like that with the handhold and the fireboard and the spindle and the bow. It makes this black dust type thing, and it makes an ember, and you blow on it, and it makes a fire.
So, and then there's food, the fourth on the list of important things, and you've got all your wild edibles and all your wild meats if you choose to. So that would be tracking, it would be weapons for hunting, which is basically throwing a stick or a rock for the primitive styles.
And when you're walking around, it's good to look where you're going because you might find some poop.
My favorite thing to eat if I was stranded in the woods would be clover. It tastes very good, surprisingly, and it swells to twice its size in your stomach, so it's a very good thing to eat.
We found something called greenbrier. It's a spiky vine. It tastes like green apples. Early in the season, it tastes like peanut butter. We also found a mint called beefsteak. You shouldn't eat mushrooms, definitely not.
You can eat ants, and you can eat ant eggs, but the big ants taste better than the little ones.
And since fish can't swim backwards very well, when they come into the trap, their space gets smaller and they can't turn around at all.
Nature is what you eat because, like hens, they need seeds, and nature makes the seeds. So you could have like baked chicken on Thanksgiving.
All of a sudden, they know that they can survive 2, 3, 4 months out in the woods without any help, just through a week course. And now they know that they're safe. They can go anywhere they want and they can be safe.
Their comfort levels go up so fast and their confidence just changes pretty much overnight. You know, spending the night in a tent completely afraid and waking up in the morning thinking that they're going to get eaten by bears through the night, and they wake up and they're alive. They've survived the night. Just simple little accomplishments like that will change their life forever.
I think I'm definitely more confident about what I can do, my abilities, and I don't have a very good sense of direction, but I feel like if I am lost, I can do something about it. Like before I took the camps, I would just sit down and and not light a fire because I was kind of afraid of fire and I didn't know how to make a shelter or anything, so I would probably be in really bad shape.
And it's really, they're finding themselves, and they find something so wonderful that their fear goes away. They find a place that they can go, a place that they can find a peacefulness, almost like a home that they can go to. No matter where anything else goes on, they can always go there and they can just be there, and they can be a place that they know they're safe and that they're happy, and they can just center themselves.
It's a lot of fun to work with these kids and to see how nature just lights up their eyes, and once they experience it, they just want more. They're like an open book just waiting to be written in. You know, I can't even explain the feeling of just knowing that we might have made a little difference.